Yes, sir, we're recording.
We are, all right. I would like to call our Cottonwood Heights City Council meeting to order. It is Tuesday, February 18th. For those who may be listening or watching, we will excuse the mayor tonight. He is out of town celebrating his anniversary. Councilmember Bruce is also not in town. I think she's on her way back. She may show up later through the meeting. We may be done before she has that opportunity. I am the Mayor Pro Tem, Scott Bracken, and I'll be conducting the meeting. First, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll ask Councilmember Michael if she would lead us.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item on our agenda is an introduction of UFA Assistant Chief Riley Pilgrim. We'll ask our City Manager, Tim Tingy, to do a brief introduction, and I've asked Chief Pilgrim if he would come up for a minute.
Yeah, we are excited to have Assistant Chief Pilgrim with us now, and he's officially working in our community. Just to give you a little bit of background, and I can have him tell a little bit more, but he has spent time up in this community before at a previous time of his career, so knows a little bit about Cottonwood Heights, and also worked in the Wildland Division based out of Camp Williams, spent a lot of time, even received some honors while he was there with his work. He has recently served as a liaison at Harriman, and we're glad he's here at Cottonwood Heights and look forward to working with him.
Yeah, no, this is a unique opportunity. I've been in Harriman for about 3 years, and so this is a pretty unique change from just different community dynamics and demands and just different phases of where you guys are as far as your development and growth, and so I'm definitely excited about that. But yeah, kind of to build off of that, I was assigned here as an engineer actually for about a year or so. I was between here and Holiday. So first 5 or so years of my career with UFA was spent between Holiday and Cottonwood Heights, and so pretty familiar with a lot of the intricacies of the community, the ins and outs, some of the kind of unique areas within Cottonwood Heights. And then with the wildland fire stuff, that was a big part of my career and background as well. So we spent a lot of time here doing a lot of community preparation plan. We have a community wildfire protection plan that we put together several years ago. Been on a few wildland fires here, most notably the Quail fire. That's about 5 years ago almost now, 4.5 years. So that was a pretty exciting time, but definitely have a huge interest and passion in wildland fire prevention, mitigation. But not only that, but just community involvement, engagement, working with the station crews, working with the city, the staff, elected officials, and just doing what we can to continue to improve that relationship and make sure that citizens here are getting the absolute best service that we can provide. So yeah, looking forward to it and the challenges and the different interactions and where this is going to go. So thank you.
Stationed at 116 or 110?
116 for the majority, 110 off and on. They had the heavy rescue crew there at the time, and so we were lucky to rove into there because it's kind of a special station. But yeah, I was at 116 for a significant amount of time, so it's fun. Great time there. So thank you. It's good to be back.
Good to have you here.
Okay, the next item on our agenda is citizen comments. I do not currently have any comment cards. If there's someone who wishes to make a comment, just come up and state your name. If you want feedback or something, maybe fill out one of the cards and make sure the recorder gets it so we can get back to you. But go ahead and come up.
I'm sorry, I signed in. I didn't see comment cards. I signed in over there and put my name and phone number there, and I did not see any comment cards to fill out, so I apologize for that. My name is Lisa Bartlett. I'm here representing myself, my family, and our neighbors across the street, the Gooder family. And I just was wondering, I was assuming there was going to be a police chief here. Is the police chief is here? Okay. Great. So I'm addressing this both to the police chief and also the city council. A week ago, our car was stolen out of our garage. It has not been recovered. I subsequently found out our next-door neighbor was robbed at broad daylight, not between 8 and 9 in the morning, right next door to us, within a couple weeks before our car was stolen. And 2 days after our car was stolen, within the same block, a car was broken into and a bike was stolen. So two very brazen robberies, three of them within 3-week time period and within a block radius. So my question for the city council and the police chief is, what are you, first of all, is this, we consider this a brazen crime spree and a rash of crimes. And my question, I have 2 questions. One is, what are you doing about the crime in our neighborhood? And or is this normal, that this much crime is occurring in such a small area?
Hey, Lisa, what is your address?
It's 7956 South Forest Oaks Court. So we are a small little cul-de-sac, very hard to find, right off of Danish Ridge Way. And so that is typically, we've lived here 9 years, and we felt very safe up until last week when we were robbed while we were sleeping. So it was very, very upsetting and very brazen.
You've got your name and phone number. I don't have an answer. Your best chance would be either have Tim get back with you or possibly maybe hang around and till the meeting is over and see if the chief will talk to you, because I'm sure he has much better answers than I would be able to give you as well.
I would be happy to.
Okay, well, I've come to talk to you. You weren't there. I spoke to Candy. I've talked to Candy. I've talked to yes, and I've also spoken. She has sent me a crime map, and that crime map. And unfortunately, I don't have time to stick around tonight because I have to cook dinner for my family. But I would like to know: is this what? I'm just wondering, is this normal? Should I just accept the fact, and according to the crime map I got from Candy, which shows a lot of hot spots in this area, is this normal that there's this much crime in such a small area? It's such a close period of time.
I don't know that I'd ever call it anything like that normal. Relatively speaking, you live in a very low crime rate. I know it doesn't seem that way when you're the victim. I am happy to call you and we can talk more about it. I can't. Did she tell you that we made an arrest up there a couple nights ago?
No, I did not get
group
any
of you.
information. I have a case number as well, and I followed up on that, and the car has not been recovered, but I was not aware of an arrest being made.
Well,
So I'd like to
yeah,
know
and
more about
I'll be
that.
happy to talk to you about it.
Right,
I recover 97% of all the cars, so that's very unusual.
good.
So,
Well, good.
I will give you a call tomorrow. Will that work?
That would be wonderful,
Okay.
yes. Our car has not been recovered as of yet, but we're still very hopeful that it will.
We'll get it.
So, okay.
Hopefully it's still in one piece, but we'll get it.
Yeah, that's a whole nother issue, but that's okay. Okay, well, that would be wonderful. I signed in and left my phone number, and I would also be happy to call and give Candy my number as well tomorrow. She
I'll just call you.
should have it. Okay. Our
Thank you.
number, I
Thank you,
signed
Lisa.
in on the sheet over there. Okay? Thank you very much.
All right, I have another comment from Kristen Collins.
Good evening. I just want to address the Golden Hills Park and the amount of snow that we've had in recent weeks. And I understand there's a posted sign that it is not that park is not maintained in the wintertime. But to have after this last storm and some of the other storms, so much snow. So I am disabled. I use a walker. And I go to that park with my trainer every week, and we walk around, and it's a great park, and there's a lot of other people, a lot of seniors walking, a lot of parents with strollers, and to get around that park with the snow is impossible. And to not be maintained is completely understanding. I completely understand that, but to have maybe a snow blower just kind of after a giant storm like this, blow through there and get rid of some of the snow would just be so incredible for a lot of people in the community. And I understand Cottonwood Rec Center maintains that area, and I'm a member, and I know a lot of other people are a member of Cottonwood Heights Rec Center, and it would just be great to have that area cleared for people who can go utilize that park.
The city owns the park. The maintenance we contract through the rec center.
Okay.
But it ultimately is our responsibility. So maybe we can look at that contract and we'll certainly have a discussion. I'm on the CH2 committee. That would be something.
Okay.
I'll contact you after we review. I believe that the contract, we don't maintain that primarily with resources going to other areas, but I'll look at the contract and then I'll get back with you on
Okay.
that.
That would be great.
I might just ask a question, Tim. What was the increase for the rec center for those that are in the Cottonwood Heights Rec Center district? What was their increase this year?
Yeah, there was a tax increase. I don't have that off the top of my head, but there was a tax increase. The issue though with this is where it's our park, we would have to extend additional funding to do that because they maintain it for us. But yeah, they did receive an increase, but that doesn't relate necessarily to what services they provide us.
And so just for the benefit of the community, if enough of three or more of the council members or two of us requested that you do an analysis to determine the cost to keep it over in the wintertime, you could do that for us.
Definitely. In fact, you're going to be considering or looking at our contract with them in the upcoming 3 months as far as ongoing maintenance year-round on issues. And so you will be seeing that actually, and we can be prepared to talk about what that additional cost would be.
And then could a member of the community, if they so chose to make a donation and do that occasionally after? Is there anything that would preclude somebody from taking their snow blower and doing that, much like the gentleman did with cutting the grass there as well?
I'd have to think about that. The only thing I'm concerned about is liability issues with people in doing work in the park. That would be an issue of concern I have, but it's something that we can definitely talk about.
All right. Thank you, Christine.
All right. Next on the agenda is our action items. The first one is consideration of ordinance 340. These are similar to what we have done with other utility-type companies. Can I make a comment? Yes, if we can keep it short. I typically would just extend it. We have a little bit of a risk of not having a quorum in a few minutes, and so I do want to. We'll move that, but go ahead.
Okay, so yeah,
3 minutes
I
is
wasn't
fine.
aware that I had to do a comment card. I'm sorry about that. But my name is Salar Ahmed, and I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior at Hillcrest High School, which is just in the area. And my question concerns an environmental issue, and it's not just one that concerns our city. It's one that concerns cities all around the country, and that's the issue of plastic bags. Plastic bags, they take years to decompose, and they're a threat to wildlife, both on land and in water. And back in August, I wrote an email to Council Member Tally Bruce about proposing a plastic bag tax within the city limits. And so she said that in 2018, a plastic bag ban was being considered. So my question is how, it's kind of a two-part question. So part one is, how important is regulating single-use plastics? How important is that to the city council? And then part two of the question is, what would a timeline look like for implementing a tax or a ban on single-use plastics?
I know that Councilmember Michael as well is very concerned with those things. I mean, I am too. I understand it's been quite a change. I work with the Wasatch Front Waste and Recycling District. And the single-use bags being not able to be recycled is a big concern, just from volumes. I am not sure, however, what is legally permissible, so what I probably have to do is if you could fill out a card, and Tim can give you a call and tell you exactly. I know the legislature has addressed the issue within the last year or two, but I honestly don't remember exactly what they said.
I'll respond if you leave your phone number and name.
Okay, where would I leave that?
You got one of these type cards.
Oh, okay.
On the back.
All right.
But I've always been a firm believer that we need to be able to keep our world and our city as clean as we possibly can. Very firm believer in that. And so part of it just gets down to what we can do and when. So,
Okay. Thank you.
thank you. All right. If there are further citizen comments, I will, if someone will flag me, I will reopen them after our our action items. And we will listen to those there, or I will stay after and listen to them if we end up being without a quorum. On item 4.1, the franchise to Utopia, Shane, if you could take just a minute or two and explain what this is.
Utopia is a Utah interlocal entity that was formed by other Utah governmental entities, and it's I think basically a cable provider, an internet service provider. They have requested a franchise from the city to install and operate a fiber optic cable system within the city's public right-of-way. And so this ordinance would grant such a franchise on the same terms as the city has granted similar franchises to other providers over the past few years.
Are there any questions on this? I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve ordinance 340, granting a telecommunications franchise to Utopia.
And I would second that.
All right, I will call for the vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. 41 who may be listening, that does not mean that we have agreed to become a Utopia city. I just think they have some areas in the city that they needed to do some work. We have pursued that option in the past, and we may be looking at it in the future. We don't know. All right, Resolution 2020-04. Tim, if you could discuss that or give us a brief overview for those that are here.
Yeah, this is considering an appointment of Jerry Christensen to the Historic Committee. I've had an opportunity to interview him and talk about his interest and his time that he can share with us as a volunteer as part of this committee. I think he would be a great asset with just some of his background, especially related to his work at Brighton High School and his involvement. And so I'm recommending approval of his appointment to the Historic Committee.
Are there any other comments or concerns? I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2020-04, consenting to an appointment to the Historic Committee.
I second that.
All right, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Peterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Michael,
Yes.
I will vote yes. Next on our list are resolutions 2020-05 and 06. Tim, they're somewhat related. Could you just kind of give us a brief overview of each, and then we will move on with.
Yes. Yes, several months ago we had applied for funding through the county through the track funds, grant funds that they have. And this one on 2020-05 is an agreement for wayfinding signage on the Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail. And we're excited that we received this grant. It's in the amount of $43,695, and we're recommending approval of that one. In addition to that, the next one is similar. It's a track grant of $83,682. It's funds to install root barrier systems and other improvements on the Big Cottonwood Canyon Trail. Once again, we're really excited that we can enter into these interlocal agreements. We went through a competitive process and were awarded these two grant funds, so we're recommending approval of both of these interlocal agreements.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from the council? I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Resolution 2020-05.
I second that.
All right. Councilmember Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Michael?
Yes.
I will vote yes. These are in triplicate, but I will take care of that. And Resolution 2020-06 for the some of the maintenance and repair on that trail. Entertain a motion for that.
I move that we approve Resolution 2020-06.
I second that.
All right. Councilmember Peterson, how do you vote?
Yes.
Councilmember Michael?
Yes.
And I will vote yes. So that's good. We need 3 votes to get anything to pass, and we were able to accomplish that, so I thank you. It looks like there is nothing on the consent calendar. With that being said, are there any other citizen comments at this time? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Or we can sit here.
I move that we adjourn.
I move that we close this session.
We'll second that.
I second that. I'm sorry.
All right, all in favor?
I'm tired.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.